It's Alirien, and welcome to our tarot readings for the season of Samhain 2023. As with all of my tarot reading videos, which you can find linked in the playlist in the cards and down below in the doobly-doo or descriptive tome, I've called it a few things on this channel, we are going to follow the same format as always, with 3 cards out of a Waite-Smith style deck, plus the bottom card of the deck, as well as a single card out of an oracle deck. In this case, we are using the Nightmare Before Christmas Tarot by Minerva Siegel and Abigail Larson, and officially licensed by Disney, which I think is kind of fun, and the Messages from the Mermaids Oracle deck by Karen Kay and Linda Olsen. Of course, the season of Samhain is essentially the witches' Thanksgiving, as a lot of people have termed it. Some people call it the witches' New Year. I personally see that as Yule. Many people do see Yule as the true New Year for the Wheel of the Year. Samhain is more like our Thanksgiving, where we take the time to reflect on everything that has occurred in the year past. We take stock of everything that we've reaped in our harvests, and we make final preparations for the growing darkness of winter as it approaches at Yule. All of these readings are intended to pertain to this season of Samhain for each of the 12 Western Zodiac signs, help guide you with either what you need to reflect on and keep in mind as we move toward Yule and the start of a new year, or they will guide you in how you can best go about that reflection process and that final preparation before winter hits. Since we are in Samhain, which today, if I got this up in time, today is the 31st of October, which is of course Halloween and Samhain, and so we are still in the middle of Scorpio season, so we will be starting with Scorpio today and ending off with Libra. And before we start shuffling, I do want to get 2 housekeeping things out of the way. First off, as I state in all of my tarot reading videos, first and foremost, more important than anything else when it comes to these readings, is to take what resonates. While I intend each reading to be for a specific zodiac sign out of the 12 Western Zodiac, and I intend it to be specifically for the season of Samhain of 2023, which reading feels closest to being about you and your situation is more important than any of my intentions moving forward in this filming and this video. So if for some reason, say you're a Capricorn, but the Gemini reading hits really home for you, you are intended to take the Gemini reading, as well as Capricorn, if Capricorn also resonates, or instead of Capricorn, if Capricorn isn't really making sense for you right now. And regardless of when this video goes up, whatever time it comes to you and has one of the readings make sense to you is when you are meant to take its advice, okay? The other housekeeping, and this is more of a personal thing, you've probably already been able to hear and will probably continue to hear through the video for however long I filmed today at least, that my voice and my throat are a little bit rough. I had a really, really bad head cold. It actually might have been flu now that I'm thinking about it, but I was very, very sick with severe sinus congestion, and that has now given way and like chills and stuff, and most of the congestion has gone away, but my throat is now dealing with the repercussions of having had a postnasal drip and congestion and all of the throat clearing and nose blowing and such. I'm already having to clear my throat every few seconds, so if my voice sounds a little rough, I do apologize, and I do appreciate your patience and understanding as we move through this, but I did not want to put these off any longer. I should have started filming them as soon as we got back from Disney, but the day after we got back was when I got sick, and I've been spending the last week recovering from such. So bear with me and my poor aching voice. I'll edit out as much of my throat clearing or any other issues as I can, but just so you're aware, that's why my voice will probably sound a little more ragged throughout the whole video, and especially toward the end. I may have to break up these readings across 2 days in order to save my voice a little bit. I have water, and I'll go get some tea if I need to. So all of that out of the way, let's go ahead and shuffle and start with Scorpio. the Three of Potions, the Two of Presents, and the inverted Nine of Presents, as well as your Oracle card of Dive Deep. Now, the King of Presents being your main theme at the bottom of the card deck represents either someone in your life or an aspect of yourself that embodies what you often consider that sort of fatherly figure, in particular someone who's very much a source of stability and security and comfort in that sort of way. It's dependability, it's hard work, discernment, abundance, accountability, efficiency. It is someone who is able to work really hard and put in the effort without giving up in order to not only reach his or her own goals, but anyone else's in his or her life. I think that based on the other cards here, it is more likely, Scorpio, that you are the King of Presents in this situation. And if you haven't quite tapped into those qualities yet, you are about to or will need to. I think perhaps you are starting to tap into those qualities because things are going really, really well. The Three of Potions, being essentially the Three of Cups, is a great time of unity and teamwork, perhaps even being able to take a break and just hang out with your friends and enjoy time together without having to worry about the nitty-gritty of life outside of everything. And the Two of Presents merely serves as a reminder to maintain balance and make sure that you have everything in your life prioritized really well and that you're not putting too much time into one aspect of your life and thus neglecting other aspects of that life. The Nine of Presents furthers, I think, the warning of the Two of Presents, especially since it's reversed. It's warning of some sort of setback or obstacle, perhaps unforeseen, and sometimes it hints at an obsession with work. I think perhaps these are going hand in hand to warn you that while you're working really hard and you are consistently moving toward your goals and you're doing very, very well, remember that you don't have to do it all by yourself. The Three of Potions is also a reminder that you can reach out to other people and either delegate or at least ask for help and say, hey, I could use another pair of hands on this, would you mind? And you've got friends and family in your corner who are more than willing and capable of helping you with whatever you might need. Two of Presents, again, being that balance, try to strike a balance between work and not work, and between doing things yourself and reaching out to other people to make things a little bit easier. Try not to let yourself get overwhelmed by new scenarios, by stepping out of your comfort zone, or by any obstacles that may come up along the way, because you are fully capable of overcoming these obstacles and getting through this. You just gotta give yourself a little bit of time and a little bit of flexibility to get used to either the new situation or to consider how you're going to adapt and get around whatever obstacle it is. Dive Deep furthers this by reminding you to take a good, long, hard look at the entire situation to understand it before you try to move past it, but also make sure you're taking your time if you're in a new situation of some kind to acclimate to it and get used to how everything feels, how it sounds, how it smells before you trudge forward. Because if you're not used to something and you just try to power through without getting used to new equipment, new hours, whatever it might be that's affecting this project or this goal, then you could end up hurting yourself worse in the end. And that's another part of this Two of Presents balance, is that there needs to be a balance between moving forward in spite of scenarios and moving forward working with the scenario that you're currently in. The going and the resting. To sum up, Scorpio, make sure you are maintaining a balance, and don't forget to reach out for others if you come across something that you can't quite face all by yourself. But remember, you have the strength and the accountability and the dependability to achieve this goal and benefit not just yourself but several other people around you by achieving this goal and continuing to work toward it. Sagittarius's reading is the inverted Nine of Needles, the inverted Page of Potions, the Wheel of Fortune, and the Nine of Candles. Your Mermaid Oracle is Ask for Help. The Mermaid Oracle actually sums up pretty concisely what the rest of the cards are saying here, but I'll still go into a little bit of depth. Your bottom card, being the inverted Nine of Needles, points to your self-esteem having taken a very severe blow recently. It's possible that your own mental state and how you talk to yourself, about yourself, is what's the biggest obstacle here and the biggest culprit here. You are being your biggest bully, and that's not healthy to do. For now, you need to start trying to focus on the positive sides of yourself, the things that you love about yourself, what you're good at, rather than focusing so hard on the things you don't like or the things that you consider flaws. And the inverted page of potions further states that you're not doing very well handling your emotions right now, Sagittarius, and you're being childish, naive, and perhaps even a little bit selfish. These two could be causing each other in this sort of vicious cycle, but I suspect that perhaps there may have been a larger issue that these are a response to, and now they're responding to themselves, is what seems to me to be the case. And the Wheel of Fortune indicates that things are going to be changing very, very soon. There's a turning point that has been reached. And at the very least, during the season of Samhain, it's a perfect time to look back and think about how you've been treating yourself and how you've been responding to negative situations. And if you've been responding, if you've been just reacting every single time, that's not as healthy as taking everything in, taking a moment to consider everything, and then choosing a healthier response, if that makes sense. Wheel of Fortune says some new page is about to turn for you, and if your luck has been really shit, it is going to start improving. The Nine of Candles indicates a need for self-preservation at this time. You need to conserve your energy and do what you can to protect yourself. And that includes not talking poorly about yourself. It also reminds you that it is not a bad thing and it is not a weakness to ask for help from others. And that's exactly what the Mermaid is also indicating to you. It is time to look toward your friends and your family and those you really, really trust and who really care about you to help you out of this slump. Turning to them, talking to them, letting them know what's going on could help you process everything better, even if they don't have any advice to offer. Sometimes just finding that shoulder to cry on or that ear to listen is all you need to finally get rid of some of the stuff that's been cooped up inside and be able to fully move on and start powering forward again. Be kinder to yourself, conserve your energy, and don't be afraid to ask for help from others who you trust, because things are going to start looking up again for you, Sagittarius. All right, Capricorn, you have pulled the Queen of Needles, the inverted Four of Presents, the inverted Ace of Potions, and the Seven of Potions. Your Oracle card is Dreaming. The Seven of Potions and the Mermaid Oracle essentially all are one piece of this advice. They say very, very similar things here. But we'll start with the Queen of Needles since that is your main theme to your reading. The Queen of Needles reminds you of just how intellectual and capable and strong, especially mentally, you really are, Capricorn. Capricorn is an earth sign, but because of the practical nature that Capricorns tend to cling to, for better or worse, you tend to think about things very practically as well. And that is a strength that is going to help you through this time and this season of Samhain right now. The inverted Four of Presents is concerned with your relationship with money at this time. It may be time to sit down and reevaluate your budget and your spending habits and your priorities with your budget and make sure you're not spending money that you can't afford to be without right now. Inverted Ace of Potions also says that emotionally you're completely out of balance. You've either been keeping a bunch of stuff cooped up inside and you need to find an outlet and a way to get those emotions out and talk about them so you can start resolving them and moving forward, or you've perhaps been oversharing, or you've let your emotion take full control of you and you're reacting emotionally to everything instead of taking a second to consider everything and respond much more maturely. Again, are fully capable of sitting down and evaluating whatever's happening and finding a healthier way forward, not just for yourself, but for anyone else that may be involved. That said, the Seven of Potions encourages you as you recenter and regain control and evaluate the situation in order to do what is practical. That doesn't mean you can't continue to shoot for your dreams. The Seven of Potions reminds you of how important it is to keep dreaming about whatever it is you most want and work toward making those dreams real. What is your main goal that you want more than anything else right now? What is that most important dream that you have right now, Capricorn? Consider that and get your emotions in check and see how you can rearrange your budget and prioritize your budget in order to still allow yourself to take the action that you need to start manifesting that dream and making it something real again. The Mermaid card, likewise, is dreaming, and it is just like the Seven of Potions, pointing you toward the importance of your dreams, not just for the sake of following them and manifesting them, but also oftentimes we get a lot of important messages about things going on in our lives through our dreams, either because our mind is trying to help us process things while we're asleep, but also sometimes our guides, our ancestors, whatever spiritual force you may believe in, will try to communicate with you through your dreams. It may be a good time to try to pay attention to the things that you dream about. Maybe keep a journal at your bedside so that when you wake up, you can write everything down as soon as possible so you don't forget any of it. Look into meanings behind the things that you experience in your dreams, and perhaps even consider trying to look into lucid dreaming. Ultimately, Capricorn, remember that you are incredibly intellectual, you are practical, and you are strong enough to regain control of the material and the emotional in your life right now and regain a proper course toward whatever is your goal. Aquarius, your Samhain reading is the inverted Page of Potions, the inverted Nine of Presents, the High Priestess, the inverted Knight of Presents, and communication. The inverted Page of Potions is a card that signifies you not handling emotions very well right now for whatever reason. You're being childish or naive or selfish in some way, and if nothing else, you need to find a better outlet or a new outlet for those emotions, whatever it might be. The Nine of Presents reminds you not to sell yourself short and remember just how much of which you are capable. You are very close to the precipice of reaching a goal, and I think you're perhaps risking burning out on fighting for that goal and giving up right before the finish line, and you can't do that to yourself. You are fully capable. You always have been fully capable throughout this whole journey of reaching the goal at the end. So now you need to remember that you're capable and reach that goal. The High Priestess encourages you to listen to your intuition and follow your instincts in order to understand the truth about a situation, especially since there is some aspect of your life where something is not what it seems, and there is some hidden truth that you have yet to discover, but you are intended to discover for a fuller understanding and in order to better move forward in some way. Inverted Knight of Presents, similar to the Nine, is encouraging you to find your spark again. It hints that you are lost and directionless for some reason right now, Aquarius, and you need to rediscover what got you excited about the goal or the project that you're working toward in the first place. Let yourself get excited about it again and start working for it again. Find your spark, find your motivation, even if it just means getting up and doing for the sake of doing, because if nothing else, God damn it, you're determined and spiteful enough to do it. The Mermaid of Communication does very clearly and very concisely stress that there is some sort of communication that needs to happen as a part of all of this resolution. It could be you needing to better communicate with yourself what it is you're after and be aware of your emotions, let them happen, process them, and move on, or communicating with yourself about what your goal is and how you can be excited about getting to that goal. It could simply be needing to communicate with others around the situation. You, very much like I think Scorpio and Sagittarius, don't need to be afraid to ask for help if you need it, or at least letting other people be aware of what you're dealing with, so maybe they'll be more understanding when certain things don't work out the way that you initially intended or promised. Communication is key here. Listen to your instinct above all else. Find that spark and that drive to get toward that goal, and take a moment to better process all of your emotions, however positive or negative, before you start moving again. Communicate and follow your instincts. Pisces, your reading contains the Empress, the Seven of Needles, the Eight of Candles, the Fool, and mystery. The Empress, as your main theme, reminds you to be compassionate and kind, not just with others, but with yourself as you move forward. What I'm getting a sense of from the rest of this reading is that you are on the precipice of a new path and a new journey right now, especially with the Fool being a part of this. Be kind to others around you as you move forward, and be kind to yourself. And as you move forward through this new journey, take advantage of, indulge in, and dive headfirst into any creative impulses you have as part of this new journey. Your creativity is going to be very important. The Seven of Needles backs this up a little bit and reminds you might need to think outside the box and take a less conventional approach to solve certain problems or overcome certain obstacles. It also warns you to play your cards close to your chest as you move forward through this journey. Mystery backs this up as well. Some things, according to Mystery, are better left unknown about life. And this is true. But the other meaning to it is that you are being urged not to overshare. Don't be too open with everyone as you move forward. Talk less, act more. There is some sort of, especially with the Seven of Needles being the card that it is, some sort of deception or unsavory behavior is involved here somewhere. It's not necessarily you, it could be somebody else being dishonest in some way. You, to protect yourself, are meant to hold back a little bit in how you interact with certain other people. Be mindful. You are the Fool at the beginning of the journey. You should move forward in spite of the consequences, but you should be aware of the dangers and the risks and the consequences thereafter. So, lay your cards close to your chest and don't be afraid to think outside the box to overcome any of your challenges. The Eight of Candles, likewise. You're about to be going through a very fast-paced time for your life. Things are about to kick into high gear for you with this new journey. Your creativity is going to be incredibly important to take something ordinary and make it extraordinary. You and your creativity, your ability to think about something in a different light with a new perspective and turn it into something that no one else would have ever perceived or thought was possible is going to be incredibly important. All that said, you are the Fool. You are on the brink of this new journey. There is limitless potential ahead of you for how this journey will go and how much you can achieve as part of it. Be mindful of the risks, especially in dealing with others, but be boundlessly enthusiastic because there is so much good waiting for you on this path. I am very excited for you, Pisces. Aries, your reading for Samhain is the Two of Potions, the Inverted Chariot, the Seven of Needles, the Inverted Nine of Candles, and Turn Away. Aries is facing a lot of obstacles and setbacks right now for some reason. Your main theme and your main thing that you should lean on and focus on to help you through this time right now is this Two of Potions, which signifies some sort of partnership. It could be professional, romantic, or platonic, whatever it is. Some partnership, some relationship in your life that is in complete harmony. You and this other person have found a way to mesh your strengths together to overcome both of your flaws. And this relationship is more important than anything else right now. Continue working to support each other and help each other through this time. This person is your rock and you are theirs, especially in light of what's happening here. The Inverted Chariot and Inverted Nine of Candles both tell me that you are facing a lot of obstacles right now and you're starting to get overwhelmed by those obstacles. Turn to this person for help. If nothing else, turn to this person to help you rediscover your motivation for this goal and why you set out toward it in the first place. The Seven of Needles also warns of some sort of dishonest behavior, and like with Pisces before you, warns you to play your cards close to your chest. Don't tell everybody everything you're gonna do before you do it. Just focus on doing it. Talk less, act more. If nothing else, turn away suggests walking away from the situation. Whatever this dishonest behavior is, whatever these obstacles are, you are meant, at least for a time, to walk away, either until things improve, or you have a better, fresher mind to be able to actually overcome it. Or this could be your sign that the goal you've set out for is not actually going to be worth all of the risk involved. This could be your sign that what you thought you were after is not going to be available to you at the end of this. And you are perhaps meant to cut your losses and try again at another time in another place. Figure out which relationship this is. Talk with this person. consider your options, but you need to focus on continuing to support this relationship and keep it strong and protecting yourself as you either rediscover your strength and your capability to overcome your obstacles or find the strength to walk away. Taurus, you have pulled the inverted Four of Presents, the Sun, the Three of Needles, the Nine of Candles, the inverted Three of Needles, and Contentment. You are in a serious time of recovery. The inverted Four of Presents urges you, like Capricorn, to reevaluate your relationship with money and any other concept of financial or material security. You've either been afraid to spend anything, or you've been frivolously spending on things you don't need that you really can't afford to be spending money on. Evaluate your budget, evaluate your priorities, and get them straight. I think, however, this is part of a larger thing, especially with the inverted Three of Needles. The Sun indicates a positive shift that has begun or is going to begin very, very soon. Now is a good time to reconnect with good friends and enjoy yourself. Be in the moment and let yourself be happy for a little while. Inverted Three of Needles further tells me that you have been through significant heartbreak and grief of some kind, but you've begun overcoming the emotions and the hurt. You've begun recovering, and all too fittingly, because there is a heart on the card, this, I think, is the heart of the issue. You went through something horrendous, and it affected a lot of how you think and feel and act, but you're starting to come back from it. Now is the time to focus on pulling the last of the proverbial needles out of your heart and letting those wounds heal. Let yourself continue to heal and recover. The Sun indicates that your pain is nearly over. Four of Presents, your main focus as you continue to heal needs to be making sure that you're not spending your money, your time, your energy, anything else you associate with security and stability too frivolously. Nine of Candles further stresses that now is a time for you to conserve your energy and focus on self-preservation, the recovery and the healing that we've already talked about. Contentment puts a nice little bow on top by reminding you to count your blessings. Take stock of everything in your life that is good and for which you are grateful, and be content with all of that. This includes your friends and your family who you trust and who you know care about you. This includes all of the comforts within your home that you already have, your pets, your favorite blanket, your nice cozy bed, your favorite food, whatever it amounts to. Find comfort and enjoyment in all of these small everyday things you already have, and continue working to heal and overcome the pain of whatever it is you went through, Taurus. The sun is starting to shine again. Gemini, your bottom card is the inverted Four of Needles. Your main spread is the Nine of Needles, the Chariot, and the inverted Knight of Presents. And your oracle is Love. Gemini is feeling stuck. You've taken the concept of take a break a little too far for some reason and in some way, and you've stagnated yourself. You're refusing to move forward, and you can't find the energy and the strength to move forward. And it's because you seem to be overwhelmed with fear and anxiety. And while some of those fears are not unreasonable, I think perhaps even the reasonable ones you've blown out of proportion. The rest of the meaning of the Nine of Needles, the Chariot card, and the inverted Knight of Presents encourage you to move forward in spite of your fear. I actually recently learned that my favorite quote from Princess Diaries is not originally from Princess Diaries. The quote's been attributed to a few other people, namely FDR, though it's disputed whether it was he or some author who actually said it first. But the quote still stands, and that courage is not the absence of fear, but rather the designation that something else is more important than fear. You can be afraid and still move forward, because reaching your goal is more important than letting fear stop you. Be aware of your fears and anxieties and why you have them. Don't let them stop you. Find your spark again. Find your motivation. Find that thing that makes risking, that makes facing your fears and your anxieties worth it to do so, and power forward in spite of it. If nothing else, the love you have for yourself, the love your friends and family have for you, and the love you have for this journey, and ultimately the goal you are pursuing, may be able to help you move forward again. Cancer, you have an extra oracle card, 2 jumped at once, but we're going to roll with it as we usually do. You have pulled the 8 of Potions, the inverted 6 of Candles, the inverted Page of Presents, the 2 of Candles, Hope, and Truth. Most of Cancer's reading is driving home this sense of disappointment. disappointment that has occurred. Something you have put a lot of time and effort into in almost every sense of your being has not amounted to what you initially anticipated or hoped, and you are disappointed. The Eight of Potions purely means that something you worked toward has disappointed you or fallen short of expectation, and now you don't know what to do with yourself, and it wants you to consider evaluating your goals and your needs at this time, because they may have changed, and that may be part of why you're disappointed. Perhaps you thought you wanted or needed this, and now that it's here, you've realized it wasn't what you wanted after all. It could be that sort of situation. Inverted Six of Candles also suggests that as part of why you might be disappointed and why this hasn't measured up the way that you thought it would, you've been comparing yourself to others in order to gauge your success and your progress. And that is not ever a healthy way to go about doing it. While yes, you can look to the work of others to inspire you to achieve to a similar level, ultimately to gauge your own success and progress toward your goals, you need to compare where you are to where you have been in order to always remind yourself of how far you've come. Hi, Roxanne. Inverted Page of Presents. Again, you are disappointed and frustrated because something has not turned out the way that you wanted it to. Now is the time to evaluate everything that happened, learn the lessons there are to learn, cut your losses, and move on and start again toward another goal, perhaps, which leads naturally into the Two of Candles, which tells you that there is a decision that needs to be made of which way you're going to go now. There's also a lot of planning that needs to be done before you take any steps forward. Look at the entire situation clearly and rationally. What worked? What didn't? Why did those things work or not? Decide if you still want to try again for this goal, or if you want to just cut your losses and move on to another one. Plan your steps forward toward whatever goal you set at this time before you take even a single step. Hope and truth essentially help to whittle this down a little bit into a good news and bad news sort of situation. Hope reminds you that thank you, Roxanne, in spite of the frustration and the disappointment, not all is lost. This goal or journey did not work out the way that you wanted it to. That doesn't mean you are completely lost, and it doesn't mean that no other goal will ever work out for you ever again. It simply means that this one didn't work out, but there is hope still for your future and for you to have whatever this goal was ultimately about achieving in the first place. Truth essentially represents the bad news, in that somewhere in this whole situation, there is a truth that you need to accept and understand, regardless of how much you like it. And I have a feeling that somewhere in here is an uncomfortable truth that you need to accept. For some reason, this whole experience was a learning opportunity to discover this truth. And ultimately, again, however comfortable or not this truth is, you need to move forward having found this truth, because you will be better for it in the end. Leo, your Samhain reading is the inverted Four of Needles, the inverted Hierophant, the inverted Nine of Potions, and the inverted King of Presents, as well as the Trust card. All of these cards being inverted immediately tells me that there is a serious rebalancing and recentering that is needed here for Leo. You're feeling stuck and have perhaps stagnated yourself. And it's because, as ultimately all three of these cards indicate, you are prioritizing doing what others expect of you and accumulating wealth, material, security over being yourself and doing that which actually makes you happy and helps you feel like yourself. The Hierophant inverted urges you to take the road less traveled. Inverted Nine of Potions says to stop worrying about impressing others and focus on being yourself. And the inverted King of Presents says that you perhaps have developed an unhealthy relationship with money and wealth and are too focused on gaining and not enough on whether or not the ways you're going about gaining are healthy and worthwhile. You need to trust in yourself and trust in life or the universe or whatever higher power you may believe in, that however difficult the road ahead may be, you can reach what you set out to do without compromising your morals, your standards, your soul, and all of that which makes you, you. Compromise is important, yes, but you do not have to compromise on your own beliefs just to do what you need to do for yourself. and those around you that you care about. Nothing ever truly happens by accident. That is what trust says. Not just to trust in yourself, but trust that life has a good end goal in mind for you. Reconnect with yourself, the things that you love, the things you truly believe, and your ability to be less conventional and still reach the same goal that others set out to do as well. Stay true to yourself and trust that all will be well. Virgo, you have also had an extra of the oracle cards jump out for you. We have the 9 of Candles, the 6 of Candles, the inverted Queen of Needles, the Emperor, support, and acceptance. Your main focus in the 9 of Candles is that this is a time for you to preserve yourself, conserve your energy, and focus on protecting yourself and your interests, and perhaps even those that you care about who are around you. Focus on yourself first. It's sort of an oxygen mask situation where you need to make sure you are squared away before you help other people. The 6 of Candles, though, is a good card, and it's part of why you have reached this point where you're able to sort of rest and focus on conserving your energy for a little while. You've achieved some sort of victory, and you now have the time and the opportunity to celebrate that and enjoy it for a little while. As a warning, this Queen of Needles, this could be you, this could be someone else in your life. The Queen of Needles is someone whose intellect and mental state has led her to become cruel and cold-hearted in how she thinks and how she speaks to others. And this is someone who desperately needs to regain a level of composure and compassion in order to properly deal with things moving forward. The Emperor, on the other hand, is very much a fatherly figure and represents a leader who is calm, collected, and represents a leader who is level-headed and creates real stability. You could be coming into a time where you are going to need to assume a leadership role, or there is someone around you who you are meant to sort of lean on as that person. These could each be aspects of yourself. They could be other people. One could be you, the other could be someone else. You will know, Virgo, what makes the most sense. But there's an aspect of needing to recenter intellectually and be less cold and assuming a leadership role and being able to use structure and practicality in order to best achieve that which serves everyone involved the best. The Mermaids indicate two things that I think help here in some regard. I think acceptance might tie into the inverted Queen of Needles, and that there's some sort of situation or truth that needs to be accepted regardless of how much you like it in order to be able to find peace and move forward a bit more freely and a bit lighter. The support card may also tie into the Queen of Needles or ties into the Emperor, in that you are meant to turn to your family and your friends who you most trust for a bit of support right now. However that may manifest or whatever that may entail. You've achieved something beautiful and you have this opportunity to rest. Don't get complacent in this rest and this break before you move forward again. And be mindful of how you speak to others, how you think of others, or how others are speaking to you. If this Queen of Needles is someone else, look for this leadership. If you're not finding it, it's probably meant to come from you. And look for the support that you already have around you to get through this time. Last but certainly not least is our Libra reading, which has pulled the inverted Seven of Needles, the Queen of Presents, the King of Potions, the Hierophant, and Gentleness. There is some aspect of life or some situation as we move into this season of Samhain, Libra, that you may need to accept. There is some situation in which it will benefit you to be honest with yourself, regardless of how you feel about that honesty, in order to be able to properly move forward. The Queen of Presents is usually a motherly figure and energy, someone who is prosperous, abundant, practical, but also nurturing. Being the presents, the pentacles, it is material and financial security and wealth in some way. King of Potions is a fatherly sort of figure or energy that is compassionate and kind. The Hierophant typically indicates some sort of teacher or mentor and a need to hold to values and traditions. All three cards, particularly the two court cards, as well as the gentleness card, all urge compassion and kindness in this time. I think you, Libra, are being asked, not just for your own sake, but for the sake of other people, to take on the sort of parental or older sibling sort of role in some way for someone. I think you are being called to find the gentleness and compassion within yourself as you act in some scenario. Remember that being gentle is not weakness. It actually takes a lot of strength and conviction to hold back. You have to be strong in order to truly be gentle. I don't know what this situation is, obviously. I'm not you. But in some way, your values, your traditions, and your capacity or compassion for your fellow man will be what is necessary to move forward. And there we have our 12 Western Zodiac horoscope tarot readings for the season of Samhain. I hope that at least one of the readings herein has held the guidance and the comfort that you need to move forward through this season before we reach Yule in December. And I wish all of you the very best for Samhain. Thank you all so much for watching. I really hope you've enjoyed the video. If you did, you know where all the buttons and the links on YouTube or Rumble if you're watching this there, in order to show me your love and help this video continue to succeed and reach more viewers like you. If you want to see more tarot content, as I mentioned at the beginning, I have a playlist linked in the cards and in the doobly-doo where you can find more of my tarot reading videos. I'd like to give a huge thankful shout out to my Covenant patrons who continue to be the most pivotal in helping this content be bigger and better every time. If you want to join their ranks, check the link tree in the doobly-doo. Pledges start at $1 a month. Stay tuned for more vlogs from our recent trip to Walt Disney World, and I will see you all again very soon. Keep aiming, my loves, and blessed Samhain. Mwah!